It's finally here. The moment everything has been building toward, the cross. The world goes silent as the man who changed everything walks toward his destiny. The Chosen Season 6 trailer doesn't just tease an ending, it delivers a storm. You can feel the air heavy with sorrow, the faces of the disciples torn between faith and fear. Every shot, every tear, every echo of the hammer hitting the wood. It all says one thing: the crucifixion has arrived. This isn't just another season. This is the moment that defines all of history. A moment of betrayal, pain, and love that refuses to die. And as this trailer unfolds, we see it. The prophecy turning into reality. The trailer opens with silence, not the kind that brings peace, but the kind that weighs on your chest, the kind before lightning strikes. We see Jesus walking alone, the dusty roads of Jerusalem stretching endlessly behind him. The world around him feels heavy, like it already knows what's about to happen. There's no crowd cheering this time, no miracles, no laughter, just quiet steps leading to destiny. As the camera lingers, the light begins to fade, shifting from gold to gray. The music is almost unnoticeable, just a soft hum that feels like a heartbeat slowing down. Then we hear a voice, maybe one of the disciples, whispering words of doubt, of fear, of not wanting to lose him. And for a moment, you feel it too. That ache of knowing that love is walking straight into pain. The cinematography here is breathtaking. The creators of The Chosen know how to tell a story without words. The dust in the air, the cracks in the stones, the glances between friends. It all speaks volumes. You can almost feel the tension. Every frame says, something holy is about to be broken. Then we see glimpses. The disciples in confusion. The Pharisees whispering in shadows. The Roman soldiers preparing for what they call justice. And in the middle of it all stands Jesus, calm, unshaken. His eyes don't show fear, they show understanding. It's as if he already sees the cross before him, and he accepts it. Not as punishment, but as purpose. This opening scene isn't about spectacle. It's about emotion. The creators don't rush it. They let the silence breathe. They make us watch, listen, feel. Because before the storm of betrayal and crucifixion comes a strange peace. A peace that breaks your heart because you know it won't last. And that's what makes this first part of the trailer so powerful. It's quiet, but it screams of destiny. Every viewer feels that something sacred is coming to an end. The laughter from earlier seasons, the miracles, the moments of joy, they've all led here. To this road, to this silence, to this man who walks alone. As the final note of the opening fades, the trailer cuts to black. Just for a second, long enough for you to hold your breath. Then, in the distance, thunder. The calm before the storm is over. The story of the cross is about to begin. The silence breaks. A shadow moves across the screen. Slow, hesitant, almost trembling. It's Judas, his face half lit, half hidden. You can see the battle inside him. Love fighting greed. Devotion fighting doubt. The trailer doesn't show him as a monster. It shows him as a man who's drowning in his own choices. He walks through the streets at night, the sound of coins clinking softly in his hand. That sound cuts deeper than any sword could. It's the sound of betrayal, of 30 pieces of silver weighing down a soul. The camera stays close, so close you can see the tears that he tries to hide. For a second, you almost pity him, because in his eyes, there's still a trace of the friend he used to be. The one who laughed, who followed, who believed. Then we see it. The meeting. The Pharisees standing in cold darkness, faces lit by torchlight. Their words are sharp, their smiles colder than the night air. They don't need to say much. Judas nods once, slowly, his hands shaking as the bag of silver lands in his palm. The music swells, not loud, but heavy, like a heartbeat breaking apart. And that's when the trailer does something brilliant. It cuts between two moments. Judas sealing the deal, and Jesus praying under the olive trees. The editing connects their fates in silence. On one side, a man giving up love for coins. On the other, a man giving up his life for love. The contrast is painful, poetic, and perfect. You can hear whispers of thunder in the background, a storm beginning to form. The night feels alive, like the heavens themselves know what's coming. The disciples sleep in the distance, unaware that history is turning against them. Jesus looks up to the sky, whispering, "Not my will, but yours be done." That single line, brief, quiet, and surrendering, hits harder than any scream could, because while Judas betrays with a kiss, Jesus forgives with silence. That's the heartbeat of this section. Two men, two choices, one destiny. The cinematography frames Judas walking away, his figure shrinking into darkness. The focus shifts to the silver coins spilling onto the ground. One rolls into the dirt, stopping next to a drop of rain. It's small, but it feels like the world just lost its balance. The trailer doesn't shout. It doesn't rush. It lets the moment breathe, letting the audience feel the heartbreak of friendship turn to treason. You can almost hear the question hanging in the air. How could he? But the deeper truth is harder. Maybe we all could. Maybe betrayal doesn't start with hate, but with fear. As the scene ends, lightning cracks across the sky, and the screen fades to black again. A single word appears in silence. He's coming. And that's where the next chapter begins. The arrest. The garden is quiet. Too quiet. You can almost hear the air holding its breath. Moonlight falls through the olive branches, painting silver streaks across the ground. Jesus stands still, praying. His whisper is softer than the wind, yet it carries the weight of eternity. Behind him, the disciples sleep, unaware that this silence is about to shatter. Then, footsteps. Dozens of them, heavy, determined, echoing through the night like thunder rolling across stone. The camera moves slowly, capturing the flicker of torches, the clinking of armor, the glint of swords. The peace of prayer turns into the chaos of betrayal. And at the front of it all, Judas. His face is pale, eyes swollen from tears that no one will ever see. The music fades, replaced by the soft hiss of rain beginning to fall. He steps closer to Jesus. Time slows down. Their eyes meet, one full of mercy, the other full of regret. Then comes the kiss, the softest touch, yet the loudest act of betrayal in history. The guards move in. The camera shakes with movement. Hands grabbing, swords clashing, shouts breaking the calm. Peter's voice roars as he swings his blade, cutting through the darkness in anger. But Jesus stops him. His voice is firm, calm, almost heartbreaking. "Put your sword away." In that one moment, everything changes. The war the disciples expected never comes. Jesus doesn't fight, he surrenders, not out of weakness but out of divine strength. His eyes don't show fear, they show purpose. The soldiers bind his hands, but it feels like he's the one allowing it to happen. The trailer captures this moment with haunting beauty. The torches flicker in the rain, the disciples scatter into the night, and the music swells. A single haunting violin, trembling like a heartbeat. You can feel the weight of confusion and heartbreak. The friends who once swore to follow him now run into the darkness, their faith colliding with fear. There's a shot, brief but unforgettable, of Jesus looking toward the fleeing disciples. His eyes are not angry. They're filled with sorrow and forgiveness. That look says everything. Even as he's taken, he's still giving. Giving grace, giving peace, giving love that no chain can hold. The camera cuts to black and the sound fades. All that's left is the echo of the rain. Then a whisper. "This is the hour of darkness." Those words linger like smoke in the air. The storm has arrived. The arrest isn't just the capture of a man. It's the beginning of the end, and the start of everything. The scene opens in darkness, a single torch flickering against cold stone walls. The sound of chains, heavy footsteps, and whispered accusations fill the air. Jesus stands in the center, bruised, silent, and calm, surrounded by men who claim to hold power but are afraid of the truth. The camera circles slowly, capturing the contrast. One man in rags, standing taller than the world's greatest rulers. Around him, the priests argue, the guards jeer, and the politicians watch. But he says nothing. His silence is louder than their rage. The high priest steps forward, voice sharp as a blade. "Are you the Messiah?" No answer, just a steady gaze that pierces through the noise. You can feel the tension in the room. They don't want truth, they want control. And truth, standing before them, refuses to play their game. The trailer cuts between flashes. Pilate washing his hands, the crowd shouting for blood, and Mary weeping in the shadows. Each frame bleeds with emotion. The sound design builds like thunder behind locked doors. You can hear every heartbeat, every breath. The world holding still, waiting for a verdict it doesn't understand. And then, the breaking point. Pilate's voice echoes through the hall. "I find no fault in him." A pause, then chaos. The crowd erupts. Leaders whisper. Soldiers move. The people scream, "Crucify him!" The music swells, trembling with strings that sound like cries in the wind. The camera closes in on Jesus' face. Quiet, peaceful, almost glowing in the torchlight. His lips part slightly, but no protest comes out. His silence feels like thunder. Not defeat, but acceptance. It's not that he can't speak. It's that he doesn't need to. The cinematography here is powerful. Light and shadow become characters themselves. There's a chilling shot. Pilate looking into the crowd, realizing that truth has no place here. His hands tremble as he dips them into water. The camera stays on the water, dripping from his fingers, turning red as it hits the floor. Symbolism at its finest. Innocence stained by fear. Then comes the moment no one can forget. The crowd choosing Barabbas. The trailer doesn't need words, just faces. The innocent condemned, the guilty freed. The world upside down. And through it all, Jesus remains still. Beaten, humiliated, yet somehow unbroken. His silence is his answer. His calm is his victory. The music fades to near silence. Just the soft sound of wind and chains. Then a faint whisper. "Behold the man." The camera pans out. The room fades. The voices echo. And for a moment, you realize the truth. This is not the trial of Jesus. It's the trial of humanity. The sky is not blue anymore. It's bruised, gray, heavy, and still, like the world itself is holding its breath. The wind doesn't move. The birds are gone. Even the sun hides its face. Then a sound. The hammer strikes wood. Once, twice, again. And with every blow, history trembles. The camera doesn't rush. It lingers, showing not the brutality, but the weight. The soldiers work without emotion, their faces blank, their hands stained with dust and blood. And in the middle of it all, Jesus lies still, not fighting, not cursing, not resisting. His eyes open, calm, looking toward the sky, as if speaking to a father the world cannot see. The trailer captures this moment in fragments. The wood of the cross, the trembling hands of Mary, the horror in John's eyes, the distant crowd whispering as the nails pierce through silence. There's no grand music here, only a slow, haunting note that feels like a heartbeat fading away. Then the cross is raised. For a second, the world stops. You can almost hear the earth exhale, a sound of sorrow and awe. The camera pans wide, showing the hill, 3 crosses standing against a storm-darkened sky. Lightning flickers in the distance, as if even heaven can't stay silent anymore. The disciples watch from afar, broken and powerless. Their Messiah, the one who walked on water, who healed the blind, who loved the unloved, now hangs between heaven and earth, wearing a crown of thorns. Yet even in pain, there's peace in his eyes. It's not defeat. It's surrender, the kind that transforms suffering into salvation. Then, the trailer does something breathtaking. It silences everything. No music, no sound, just the image of Jesus breathing, struggling, whispering, "Father, forgive them." The words fall softly, but they shake the universe. The lighting grows dimmer. The wind rises, and the people at the foot of the cross look up in fear. Even the soldiers who nailed him there hesitate, their confidence breaking under the weight of what they've done. One of them drops his spear, the sound echoing like thunder. Then, the moment. the final breath. The screen fades to white as his head bows. Silence. Pure, absolute silence. No dialogue, no narration, just the sound of the wind moving again, free at last. The camera pulls back slowly, showing the cross standing tall against a dying sun. The sky weeps light instead of rain. It's over, and yet you can feel it. This isn't the end. The trailer whispers it through its silence, through its stillness. Death is not the final word, and as the screen fades to black, only one phrase remains, glowing softly across the darkness. He was chosen. The world is quiet again, but it's not the same kind of quiet. It's the silence after a storm, the kind where you can still smell the rain and see the clouds slowly breaking apart. The cross stands empty against the gray sky, and the earth seems to mourn. Yet underneath that sorrow, something begins to stir. The trailer fades into dawn, soft light spilling across the hills, touching the stones, turning the darkness gold. The tone shifts. The music, once heavy with grief, now carries a faint heartbeat. Distant, fragile, but alive. It's hope, whispering its way back into the world. We see Mary walking through the mist, her veil damp with tears. Her steps are slow, hesitant, like every part of her wants to believe, but fear still clings to her heart. She kneels before the tomb, the stone sealed, the air cold, and for a moment, all seems lost again. But then, the light changes. A soft glow brushes across her face. She looks up. The camera captures it perfectly. That split second between despair and wonder. The glow isn't fire, and it isn't sun. It's something deeper, something holy. The trailer doesn't show the resurrection yet. It only hints, just light breaking through stone cracks, dust floating in gold air, and a faint echo of a voice saying, "Do not be afraid." The music swells gently, a choir in the distance, not triumphant yet, but rising like dawn itself. The shots become slower, dreamlike. The disciples, scattered and broken, start to look up from their hiding places. Their faces are still shadowed by grief, but in their eyes something flickers. Belief being reborn, and then a breathtaking detail. A hand. A scarred hand brushing against sunlight. Not fully revealed, just enough to make your heart stop. The sound fades to a single heartbeat. Steady, strong, alive. The trailer knows exactly when to hold back, when to let mystery speak louder than words. Cut to a wide shot. The tomb entrance glowing softly as dust drifts through beams of light. The music reaches a gentle peak, the colors warm again. The sense of pain isn't gone, but it's transformed. Grief turning into grace, death turning into life. The narrator's voice returns, low and steady. The grave thought it had won, but heaven was only waiting. And as the screen fades to black, 3 words appear. He will rise. A pause, then the faint sound of a heartbeat. 1, 2. The silence is alive again. Hope has entered the story. The story doesn't end with the cross. It never did. Because what happened on that hill didn't just change a moment in history, it changed the meaning of history itself. The trailer closes not with thunder or spectacle, but with stillness. The same stillness that began the story. But now it feels different. The silence is no longer heavy with sorrow. It's full of promise. The music rises softly, a blend of strings and voices lifting like morning light. We see flashes, the disciples stepping into the light, the people who once hid now walking with courage, the stone rolling away, and the empty cross standing tall under a new sky. Each image feels like a heartbeat, a reminder that what was meant to end everything became the beginning of everything. The pain, the betrayal, the darkness. All of it now holds meaning, because through suffering came salvation, through death came life, and through the cross came redemption. The narrator's voice returns, softer now, almost a whisper. This isn't just a story of a man who died. It's the story of a love that refused to. The camera pans upward, showing the sky clearing, sunlight breaking through the clouds in long golden beams. You can almost feel warmth returning to the world. The tone of the trailer transforms completely, from tragedy to triumph, from despair to deliverance. Then, quick cuts. Scenes from all the seasons before. The miracles, the laughter, the tears, the friendships, all of them leading to this one truth, that every step, every word, every moment was pointing to the cross, and beyond it. The final image appears. The cross silhouetted against the sunrise. The wind moves through the grass below. A single line fades onto the screen. The Chosen, Season 6. The Crucifixion has arrived. But just before the trailer ends, there's one last whisper, faint, almost hidden beneath the music. And soon, so will the resurrection. The music swells one final time, then fades to silence. The kind of silence that doesn't feel empty, but full of meaning, full of hope. And as the screen fades completely to black, the audience is left not with sorrow, but with awe. Because this isn't just a story about the end of one life. It's the story of why no life is ever truly lost.